check and are trying really hard all the time, but I mean, you know, I think it's definitely a 5-man team, and players like Fox have to step up.
Yeah, and he's when he decides to, it's pretty impressive. But so it is also for you and Moddy, but will be unable to defend anything here. The Bialy? Can we call him the Bialy?
Biawi.
Bialy. Yeah, Bialy, he is going to be making quick work of these heroic players. The Danes now 2 men strong or weak, whichever way you want to put it. As now they are looking to try to deny the bomb plant, which is really awesome actually. And yes, it brings a brilliant position about for them. That bomb not going down makes things really awkward for VP because they're already in position. VP have to somehow find a way to plant this bomb, but as soon as you pick up the bomb, obviously you're sort of out of the fight. So they've become a bit stuck in the mud, but the flick shots there from Nico, absolutely stunning stuff. And that's going to award Heroic an unlikely pistol.
Yeah, that's truly beautiful. Very, very well done in the retake. It's kind of a nightmare when you plant on B site, just because there's all of these. There's control room. There's Heisenberg, as I call it, which is just, you know, the decontamination.
Right, the hazmat suits.
Exactly. Yeah. And there's no safe place to put the bomb down. Like, it's like when you're Inferno on B and you're trying to hide behind the fountain. When you know that they could be construction or CT, and you have to decide 50-50 which one they're going to peek in, and that's very CT favored. Now that being said, he also hit insane shots. So,
whoa! Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Pasha with a deagle, but it looks like he's not going to really be doing much this round. Taken straight out. And instead of relying on his teammates to make the action, I do believe that Heroic will be quite aware that the outside is open and that Bialy could be in this position. So you would expect, at least I would really expect someone to be watching this. And Nico's sort of watching it. He's watching a couple of things. He'll catch Bialy. So that's a pretty good result here for Heroic. They've lost nothing almost.
On eco rounds or even otherwise, you can use on Nuke. On Nuke you can kind of run like a sacrifice strat, where you send one guy out as a mercenary to pull attention away from something else. Virtus Pro do this a lot on most maps, but like, you know, if you pull attention to ramp, for example, then you might be able to wrap outside really easily around the rafters. And a lot of the meta with the T side, at least early on, I'm not sure how much has changed, was just trying to be able to sneak a player into the back of heaven, or at least have this perpetual threat of, oh, this guy's is gonna be able to get outside and get around without our outside player being able to see him. So forcing the CTs to play like in secret and also watching their back in heaven.
Well, right now all that Heroic needs to be concerned with is this ramp area. Although, you know, if you lose ramp, it's fine, really, on Nuke. As long as you sort of adjust your rotations a bit, it's okay. Snappy was caught trying to adjust his rotation. He did get adjusted onto the bench.
Is it windy down here?
That seems to be somewhat a draft. It's drafty.
Yeah.
It's very drafty down here. Oh my god. It seems to be permanently drafty.
This is getting out of hand.
Drafts are omnipresent. That's tagged though. He's got a lot of work to do. I don't know if he can do this. They're coming in with a knife. There it is. Snacks able to make that money and prevent the defuse attempts. That is very odd. It should not be that drafty down there. We should immediately email Valve.
Yeah, that's strange. It seems like it's the exact same draft downstairs as it is outside.
Yeah, it's just very pervasive.
Now the great thing about ramp is that you can, as soon as you get in there, regardless of if you go downstairs or not, you're trying to pull the CTs through the floor, either through the vent, out of heaven. You're trying to pull them closer to the ground so that when you go for upper or inner late, it's like an emptier site.
Well, it's going really well for Heroic so far. We actually saw them, I believe it was, they 16-2'd an RV or something similar. I believe it was Heroic who did that on this map. They've shown quite an affinity here for it. But despite this, the last time we saw them on the broadcast, they did actually go down against Astralis, and their CT side got completely crushed. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure whether to credit that to Heroic being really, really awesome, or on this map, or whether it's just Na'Vi being somewhat terrible as well.
It's just a team with a lot of potential, right?
It is, yeah.
Heroic have great players. Even Esatag, who's like new, when he first came on the team, was awesome. He was really, really good.
Yeah.
Truly believe in Madi. I think Snappy's a good IGL. We've seen moments of genius from Yugi, and Nico does not plan to live in the shadow of Nico. He's like his own man. He's extremely talented. So
Yeah.
I think that's maybe why they brought Peacemaker, and they just want to take it over the line.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it's hard not to be, like when we saw Heroic at E-League, for example, it's hard not to be a fan of their run. Obviously, they did take down SK in the best of 3 at that point, and a lot of people would say that this was a really bad week for SK, and sure, that's fine. But at the same token, we did see a lot. We really saw what Heroic could do on a very good day for them as well, and the way that they were playing looked really good. So we know that it's there in them, and they can bring it out. They have all the pieces. And Modi has been consistently a rock for the team too. He's been very good at just pulling up the numbers.
That was a good start here. Snacks, one thing that he really innovated on this map initially was because there's that one vent now. He would always throw the smoke at a squeaky, like right-click that smoke at a squeaky, which would bait out a lot of grenades, but he'd always find a way to get down the vent. And as soon as you could do that, that's like an alternate way to like have the same effect as ramp. And there, Snacks actually sneaking all the way into the.
Whoa!
Oh my god!
What is that? That is completely so surprising for Heroic, at least. Snappy had no idea. Now Snacks is in a perfect position.
That's kind of the audacious type of play that a team just feels like they're starting to get comfortable, and that's just what Virtus Pro need and can do sometimes.
He just walked out of hut, right?
Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy. Bold. It's really bold. Just gonna get the plant as well, or Neo will get the plant, and that's the round over immediately for Heroic. Like you can't immediately lose a site before there's any warning. The post-plant positions become too strong. That said, if you do get a couple cheeky frags, then of course you can always give it a go, but still the post-plant positions here for VP are somewhat ideal.
And they did that by throwing the snack smoke once again. Like they opened the squeaky door, threw that smoke, had spam come through.
So they're just basically sort of playing on the mind games there that everyone's worried about Snacks coming through there, but he's going to come through over there.
Yeah, the worst part is, I mean, the craziest part is Snacks, even with the attention of 2 top-tier pro players in any matchup, can always find a way to get down the vent or make it seem like he's going to get down the vent. It's terrifying. And the smoke also, not only blocks cover, but it negates Molotov and stuff like that you'd normally use towards Squeaky. And it's really hard when you're coming out of heaven, to throw a proper heat grenade. And you can never really count on doing 100 damage between 2 grenades, so yeah. Super pesky.
So what Lawrence is saying is go watch Snacks' demo and copy his lineups.
It's honestly, don't try this at home, because everybody tries to copy it, but for some reason they can't get down the vent.
Snacks is special.
He is special.
He's very special. He's also an enormous human.
He is very big, yeah. It's all relative, right? But when you see them in a picture together, he looks big, but everyone else on Virtus Pro is also massive.
Yeah, they're all huge.
The funniest part is that Pasha's not even he's not even nearly the biggest guy on Virtus Pro.
Yeah.
Like even Taz has a much wider frame than him, with like a bigger head, and it's like a tall, intimidating person.
Yeah, man, I love the entire look of VP and their team. They just have such a cool thing going on there. Heroic defending outside. Yugi keeping tabs here. He will actually spot an additional 2 players there, which is massive information. There's one in Garage I'm not sure if he's aware of. That could be problematic. It looks like Tag will be aware of it. That's the bomb. My goodness. That's a big win for Heroic. Taz, though, is making his way around from ramp, looking to find any wayward CTs. I'm curious if they're aware that he can be there. You would, in a situation where there's 5 CTs, you would hope that the communication would be intact as to the areas they've lost, that they would be able to have a good expectation for Taz.
It's really hard if you have like any kind of gap in communication. you'll forget something's wrong. But you have extra people to work with. Like there's some damage, but he's been spotted, so oh, no time left as well. Oh my gosh, will he be able to run?
They're gonna make it simple for him. That's fine. Counter-terrorists win. So it's so far Heroic is stabilizing. We get obviously the reset rounds, the big old reset button, which is really nice. Obviously, the successful round that VP had, that was Snacks walking out of Huts, which is kind of insane and something that you're not going to be able to find consistency with. So it's sort of, you know, maybe even a once a match type of deal. So you got to find a better approach.
Yeah, they can use that kind of round as a gimmick, but you can't do it every time. Now, the 2 times that Virtus.pro have gone outside, Heroic have been able to stop them pretty easily, like keeping 3 alive. At the end of the day, it seems like this time they're just going to try to work it slowly with Bialy. They'd be right that there's no op outside, but Heroic haven't had to rely on one. Somebody's pushed up as well.
And S-Tag will find Bialy. That's pretty huge. Now the thing about that as well is it's very painful for the T side to lose a man in that kind of a position and then to make a play on the other side of the map, because that means that the CTs have too much information and you sort of have to push them back on the outside just a little bit, just so that you can just create more obscurity as to what you're doing, so they're not going to have better, like, as good rotations and setups. But right now Heroic know everything. Oh, nice by Snacks there, the way that he dropped, sort of teasing the angle, baiting out some shots there for the favorable engagement. VP working on that slower bomb side. This is going to be hard to break, but Snacks is continuing to press. Smoke for his teammate to plant in the smoke as well. Ooh, and there it is. Nice spray from Nico. Finally, Snacks will die. He can die.
He is fallible, like the rest of us. But there's another round where Virtus.pro get lower, at least somewhat successfully. Heroic just do a good job of, you know, it's cool when you lose ramp to give the team some space and just try to set up and retake positions, because there's a lot of good ones. Standing behind the door in Heisenberg is very useful, even if you let the bomb go down. But to also try to do a little bit of damage as that's happening. So, you know, Nico taking the opportunity to open the door, spam the smoke was really good. And then I think they mitigated damage for the rest of the round.
Well, it's just the PT50s now for VP. They're actually getting kind of crushed at the moment. You know, Heroic are trying to stabilize. I think some of these rounds have been a bit dangerous. It's a meaty nade. It's a meaty nade. For some reason, like, when people run through ramp, I just get all these flashbacks to like 1.6 highlights. I don't know if it's just me, but...
Where they just get mowed down.
Yeah, exactly. They just get completely wrecked. I think for whatever reason, that was just a very popular, like, and like, I guess a lot of people just got anti-eco aces there. And it just so commonly found its way into frag movies. Love a good frag movie.
What's your favorite?
Do
you have a favorite?
Probably in CS. I haven't seen as many as in Quake, but in CS maybe the Mouse Sports movie is really good. It's like Ready or Die or something like that.
A Mouse Sports movie. I haven't seen it.
That's really good, actually.
Definitely got some talented movie makers out there, and these videos look crisp. Like, they look better than... They look amazing. Like, I wish my game looked like that.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we may see an upper execution here from VP. It could be what they're working on. S-Tag is really close to the outside, around the silo. Ooh, Yuki gets a pick onto Bialy. This might speed things up here for VP, as when you lose somebody, it can often have that effect. Actually doubling down on the silo position.
Yeah, that's interesting. If it's the read that Yugi's going to get that pick and fall off, I mean, they're right. So maybe they leave him up here, but being down a man means that they're just much weaker at whatever they're going to take if they're going to use him as a lurker.
Very nicely done. Still get the headshot. Yugi caught on the rotation. Yugi doing well in that sense to just keep himself on the move. But he's gotten 2 frags for it, so can't argue with that. And you can see that VP are trying to apply the presence before they get the execution on the bomb site, which is really important, but it's just very hard. But that's what you have to do against good teams here. VP are going to have to do it with 3, insofar they have the entry. More than that, Yuki just absolutely smashing it this round.
Wow, that was amazing. That was a pretty slick bomb pass. It was almost like a football sneak, a QB sneak. But yeah, this is Yugi rotating around, taking shot, 3 different kills in 3 different completely different places. Like how are VP supposed? He read them perfectly. Everywhere they were going to take, he was there.
The R8 makes its ugly appearance. You a fan?
Oh, the R8.
Yeah.
I just call it Snacks Gun.
Snacks Gun.
Yeah. Actually saw Aloe using it though.
All the time, yeah. We'll see it later, 100%. We have an Optic game versus Ghost, I think.
Ooh. They're looking to make a comeback. They didn't really play that well at Denver. And all it really took was a couple losses for everyone to just fall off the Optic train. So I think they're gonna look to try to steal some of their clout back.
Yeah, here they go, just running the corner there. Everyone going through secrets. But what can they really expect? What can they hope? What can they possibly find in secret? One wonders.
Wow, let's take a look. Who is playing it and how? From the stairs? Yeah, Snappy. Oh, caught the face. But a really nice spray down, and there it is. Dan's worst nightmare, the anti-eco player jumping through the smoke.
I love it. Especially when it's happening to me. Get those frags. It's good.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite frag movie?
Okay, how about, I'm not sure about frag movies. I have a favorite ace.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember, I think it was casted by Semler.
Yeah.
It was the Shocks ace versus Virtus Pro with the op at the top of Banana. And he had like 2 or 3 no-scopes from sandbags.
Yep, I remember that. Yeah, that one's pretty legendary. That's from like 2014 or something. It's really early.
Yeah.
It's a very old one. Yeah, that's what like Shaxi is a gout. That's that one, isn't it? Yeah. That's really good. God no, Yugi! Oh my God! Look how forward he is. It's a buy round, mate. It is a buy versus a buy, and he's pushing so far up there with the AWP. That's awesome. It's very rare you see that, and it's going to give him a kill. Yugi's been very dynamic, and it's a nice spray down from Modi. Wow, absolutely shut down at the moment is VP. Heroic having a just great time here on that CT side.
Yeah, so when you're losing this many rounds, you're thinking, okay, this is what we've seen so far. This is how we're going to respond. And for Heroic, it's important to, in my opinion, there's 2 schools of thought. There's the team that when everything is going right, they keep doing it and don't change anything and force the other team to adapt. And then there's the other school of thought that's you can have a certain amount of rounds, but you have to assume that the other team's going to adapt, so you try to stay one step ahead. And you can see why you would want to be a part of one or the other, because they kind of both rest on the belief that either you could get away with it for the rest of the half, and if you change something and it's the wrong thing, then you wasted a round, or you're wasting a round if you don't change something, because you have to assume that the other team's smart enough. And so Heroic tried to get a little bit aggressive. They do something unconventional. It's kind of what VP did to them to get one of the 2 rounds they have, where they had Snacks walk out of hut. And if you just throw that in once in a while, you can really off-put a team.
Fortunately for Heroic, and he might set them back in mine away, and Modi will give up ramp very intelligently. Again, it's so fun to do this. This map is, the CT rotations are amazing. Due to the vents, the bomb sites being stacked upon one another. It's a unique dynamic in this map. I'm happy we'll find a lot of players, basically the entire team, and that's control room now gone. That's a really important position to hold for successful afterplants.
Right. Ooh. Smite on the floor.
Nice. Oh, wow.
They just forgot about it.
That's big. That's so big. Because now there's only 3 players left, although that will already help. That 1v1 from Bialy. Body now has to come out, and so it seems like it's all going to fall apart, unfortunately, for Rogue. But that was pretty awesome.
see, I thought he killed him before the bomb went down.
Yeah.
So if he did that, that would be a whole different round. They'd have to go get it, put it down again. His spot was still pretty good, and he didn't lose any health, but since his position was known, made that a lot easier. But there, it's just simply, they get into the site 5v5, I think was the key thing.
Yeah. And had they actually gone for one of the more normal plants, which would be closer to Modi, it's much more likely that he would have got the quicker kill. So it was a great play. It was awesome.
The play was great.
It was awesome.
We won, it was great. Did you catch any of Ivo Power Masters?
I didn't actually, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah. It's so hard to watch everything.
I run the risk of asking you that question and you saying, "Oh, I couldn't unfortunately watch it."
Yeah.
That's the life of everyone these days.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm not sure if I even usually I keep tabs on what's happening, but I don't think I even did that with Ivo Power Masters, except that C9 one.
Yes.
Right. That's all I know at this point in time. Why do you ask, sir?
I can't remember.
Wow. All right. Okay then. Well, it's VP back at it again with the well, an awful pretty. I mean, it's not the best situation economically for them. It's only a couple rounds left in the half, but they are looking like they want to run that upper execution again. The only thing is that I wonder if they will be a bit more encouraged just to go for it this time as opposed to doing. I mean, I feel like they had the right approach in the previous occasion where they try to pressure the map. The problem is that Yugi just killed 2 people immediately, and so then they went in with 3 players. So it's like, well, that doesn't really work. So you need to have everyone alive.
Yeah, maybe if they didn't give him the first kill outside, he wouldn't have moved. And then if they wanted to take upper from there, and Bialy was late to push over the silo, then that would have been better. So here he's been escorted outside. He's still taking some fights, and they aren't in a position to execute. Now it's unclear what his goal is. Nip used to have this strat where they would run upper and they would send for flare in. He missed.
Nice.
You gotta let Snacks do it. See? Oh, that's not Snacks. Never mind.
Down there. And so the upper execution has not gone to plan. It does feel very telegraphed because obviously VP have to shoot all the glass. So it's like, haha, we're shooting all the glass. Definitely not going up at this round.
That's
Don't
why you
look
gotta
at these outside smokes. It's definitely so convincing.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's why you gotta shoot the glass every round, whether you use it or not. If you want to play at a certain pace, like say you never do anything besides like a minute 20, unless you have the most insane squeaky spawn or something like that, and you just shoot the glass out every single round. It's like when you're on cash on B, you got to shoot out otherwise it'd just be so easily telegraphed.
Yeah. I agree completely. And that's I think where VP have missed a trick this map, because they've been lazy with shooting at the glass all the time if they want to use those upper executions. And ooh, that was a close one. Yuki will go for the repeak. He's at such a big advantage with the sniper that it's definitely fine to do so, but I like that he, after a couple of attempts, he's just out of there.
Terrifying.
S-Tag will now try to control the flow of the traffic. And he's doing a great job here. Nice little double there from S-Tag. Snappy coming out for some action as well. Does sort of bait out Snacks into his crosshairs, and looks like another round is going to be going the way of Heroic unless Neo can do something incredulous. Incredible. Incredulous. I'm pretty sure incredulous is a usable word in this situation. Neo doing the damage, man. Snappy down to 2 as well, so after that kill, there's some potential for Neo, but another round indeed for Heroic. 11-3 the score now in favor of the Danes. VP unable to really find much salvation in their T side.
Incredulous would be like audacious, yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely what they need to go for. Because it seems like the stuff that they've been doing more slowly, as you talked about, is getting telegraphed somewhat. But that being said, they have tried like a variation of things. I mean, they haven't just been trying to bust out upper every single round. They've been doing ramp. They've done ramp like a couple of times. They've done outside a couple of times. They've tried to lurk out. They're gonna boost here. Wow, you pushed up the op just to boost.
Wow, that's so sick. What's Yugi going to find now? Surely he peeks and he'll get one. Surely he'll get one. Oh, I really wish he took the upper peak. But he's trying to be really, really, really unpredictable here. Oh, nice. Perfect. Perfect molly. Forces the... well, actually, the other smokes were coming. They're just very late. There's no utility now for VP or players, really. They've got, obviously, 3 players left. 3 items of utility. Take a bomb site. That's going to be really tough. They're going to have to hit some crazy shots. That's a good nade. That nade did 48 damage. That's pretty... That's not just a good nade. In CSGO, if you get 48 damage from a nade, that's massive. That's insane. 3v3. Heroic need to make sure they don't offer up 1v1s at this point. VP slowly pressing on the lower side, but they are pressed for time as well. Oh, hello. 3 players greeting Nico there. That's good info. Modi's surely going to get some damage in here, as will Yugi. Yugi able to get the frag there, cause some distraction. Pasha has to be worried about the event, and there he goes. There he goes. 12-3. A great side of CT Nuke there from Heroic.
Fantastic. Everything they did worked, really. There was a round where VP were able to plant lower, 1 round where Snack snuck upper, got those frags, and then can't remember how the first round that they won unfolded, but Tag hitting all the shots, 20 kills and a half. Here's him on the boost. No business getting that kill. 2 players waiting for the boost, and still he gets 1. So you can definitely see that maybe aim is a problem right now for Virtus Pro as well.
Yeah, that's the always a potential issue. That individual ability fluctuates. Some damage there from Snacks, but no kills. Let's see if that's going to haunt them there. Yugi rocking the Tech 9. A blue Tech 9. Here it is. Heroic looking to go for the lower bomb site attack here, and it's Nico with the first kill. The bomb. Wow, that's so bold there. Modi's trying to go for it. His head poking out of the smoke. Very, very nice for VP. And now Nico's got an ace. He's just to ace clutch it. Good luck, friend. Good luck on this one. The bomb in the middle of nowhere. It's a nice first kill, but down to 24 points of health is not a very convincing argument for this clutch. And indeed, it'll be shut down by Bialy in the end.
Let's have it then. The massive comeback from 12-4 scoreline. If there's any team that could do it, it's SK.
It's SK. Nice. Well, that was rather easy. So, oh, are we going? Is that a 4-buy? That's a 4-buy.
Yeah.
Heroic have a plan. Are they going for an upper push? This will be interesting. You have to wait out these early pre-nades, but yeah. Okay, Snappy's going to flash out the upper bomb site. Beautiful. Here we go. I love this. Let's see what is successful. For that first frag, it's a bit laboured. And indeed, the UMP now doing massive damage there from Bialy. I think that's too much damage, and indeed, it will be shut down in the end. 2 frags for their trouble, and that's perhaps not really good enough for the investment.
Yeah, the massive risk there, which you would only run on an eco round such as this, is you have to get your first kill right, like instantly, and then it's the floodgates are open. But if you don't right away because the splashes come in early, then there's going to be like it's so hard to kill the CTs and Raptors if both are still alive. If one's alive, it's 10 times easier to kill that guy than it is the first one. Work the risk, I suppose. They've got a lead to work with. I mean, it can diminish quickly, but in the meantime.
Yeah, you got to be really careful. Losing Pasha already is a problem. It's only blocks and no armor, so these players will be easy to take down. They just have to play it sensibly, and VP will be completely fine. That's the case. Not much that the Pistol can do at these ranges, except be annoying. They can do that. They can be super annoying. Oh man. S-Tag, what are you doing? Hello. Hello there. 12-6. Another round going to VP there on the defense. The money will be significant enough now to see a buyout of Heroic. Now, Is there? Do you have any expectation for their buy rounds?
I have no idea, and I actually wonder how much they want to play Nuke still. So I am curious what their styles will look like. I mean, you know, to expect we're looking at a revamped team to some degree. It'll take some time for things to get fully fleshed out. But oh wow! I mean,
what?
You know, sometimes it just starts with a shot like that, though.
That's nuts. Snappy. Oh my god. Bialy now sitting in the main area. Jeez, that is a very good shot as well from Yugi. Neo peeked to get to. He just wanted a little bit of info, man. Completely wrecked. Got savaged by Yugi. This is Taz with that MP9 in the hazmat room. He's gonna lock things down, get himself an upgrade. Nice. Bialy gets a drop on 3, and now it's just going to be Snappy, the IGL alone. Bialy's done it all. He's done all that was necessary. He's got the bomb as well. What a manly, manly man is Bialy. Production found that really funny for some reason.
So did I, but I just don't know why.
Manly, manly man.
Oh!
Oh wow, nice. He's going to steal this. He's on for the clutch now. Snappy's making a real go of this.
Okay.
Because he's a manly, manly man. And there it is. The kill comes in from Pasha in position in the right time.
There was a chance there. VP win that round 3v5 and keep 3 alive. And it all starts right here. What a round from Bialy.
Yeah, beautiful timing, and the fact that he gets that 3rd kill into the hub is pretty awesome.
How do you feel about player pronunciations, like their names, like Freiburg is pronounced
Freiburg.
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 Something like that, right? But we sound like total dickheads if we say that, right? We don't say just Freiburg.
Yeah,
and if you ask him, he'll say just say Freiburg.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I always kind of liked the idea of saying it as it should be from that country. But in reality, we never do that. I mean, like in real life, in real life, we don't do that either. It's not Paris, as a French person would say. It's Paris. It's we do that kind of thing all the time. So I think it's fine. So it's understandable, logical, reasonable. Bialy looking for another big 3K here. He can improve upon that, or maybe he can do much worse. And there's a good shot from Yugi. Again, the entry is coming from Yugi. Not sure Yugi. But it's all about Pasha here with the AWP, doing what he does best. Although he'll only get 2 there, but that's... Oh my god, Yugi, that was disgusting. Despicable business there. Absolutely despicable stuff from the AK. He has to ace. He has to ace. Wait for the Flames to go west. Good bait, forcing Yugi out. Oh, nice shot. Finds another one. That's number 4 on the board. Now he just has to contend with the boss. Snacks, the end boss of VP. There he is. Right now Yugi's Mario, Snacks is Bowser.
Mario always wins though, right?
That's true. But he's got 1 heart left, man. He's hurting. He is hurting. Yugi will start running. He has 2. The time is a very punishing thing in Counter-Strike. The clock is a tool mistress. Yugi! Oh, he goes to the peak there. He gets some good damage, but he's simply too weak, too low. Zach's going all the way back for the AWP. It's actually quite funny because it's a 1v1. I don't think I've ever seen someone run this far.
Did you see that clip? Automatic ran in rank S to get a 1v1 on the A side of Cobble. Ran to get an op in B site.
Nice.
Ran back and didn't have enough time.
No, man. That's not cool, man.
He was like, "Don't worry, I got this." And Automatic with his dry humor.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
problem. Then he ran back, realized he didn't have enough time, and before even tapping it, just ran away. It's great.
That's awesome. I love that.
But you got to appreciate, the awareness to run and go and do that.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's such a sad round for Yugi. I think even in that situation, your adrenaline is pretty high. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know we're online, but maybe a pause at that moment. They came close. it came close. It was competitive, but they didn't seal it up. And Virtus Pro have a streak going on in the second half, and that round shouldn't have come close. He got 4 all by himself.
We can see VP shooting out the glass there as well to make sure that the grenades are as like, you know, if Heroic wants to throw them into the glass, so they just drop from the point in which they hit the glass with flashbangs and so on, that would not be effective. But that's fine. Heroic, they're gonna go for the upper execution anyway. See how good this set piece is. Nice molly there on top of the hut, forcing the guy down. That's what you want to do. Nice. Oh my goodness. Yoni gets a kill before the push even comes in. So does Snacks. He gets, what is that? 2. They haven't even pushed in yet.
It's not fair.
That is just not cool, man. That is not cool. You gotta at least let them just try. They did not get, they threw the grenades and they didn't get to move.
That was the thing about 1.6 Nuke, was like, if you were good enough in preparation, you could kill everybody in the lobby.
Yeah.
With the spams.
It's disgusting, man.
Yeah, it's funny. You dry run the strat and you think, all right, well, at the very least we get outside. We're gonna talk about where the smokes land and where we look when we get out. We don't talk about getting spammed through the smoke before we exit the door.
Yeah.
So. Also, the Molotov was thrown perfectly at Squeaky. It's like the smoke landed in front of Squeaky, but the Molotov landed with just enough space to stay alive.
Another eco for Heroic. They're having a simply awful time as well. Their T side as VP were also yet to get anything going. Although the pistols will yield a kill early on. The end boss has been toppled. Snacks is dead. Oh my god! And here it comes. Bialy ready, waiting.
See, if you get the vent dive early on the eco round, you can just sit in the vent. No one can really attack you, because anyone coming into the vent has a huge disadvantage versus you with their pistol. So Snacks would just stay there, and sometimes he would come back up. Sometimes he would just go lurk through lower if his team got a kill. But just the fact that you're in there, it's such a nuisance. CTs know it.
Presence is massive in CS. It's true.
And in real life.
Yeah. Do you have presence? Is that how people describe you?
I don't know. Do you have?
Launders is a man with presence. I think that could work. I think you have presence. Like
Oh,
a good
well,
presence.
thank you. I think you have presence as well.
Nice.
But yeah, that's something you don't really notice about yourself.
No. It's pretty difficult to notice that, indeed. Ooh, nice snappy down as well. I don't know about his fastest now. And indeed, Taz will finish him off. Time was also a big problem there. Another round for VP. Very fast game, actually, as far as the T rounds are concerned. And we haven't really seen a lot of slow outside play just yet from Heroic.
That's true. I think towards the end of old Nuke, outside became the only way to consistently be able to at least trade out somewhat effectively. So a lot of teams spent the majority of the rounds working outside in some capacity. And now outside is stronger than it ever was, with upstairs being nerfed a bit for the CTs, but it's still not that fun to come out of hut. I mean, let's be real. If someone's above you at Mustang or in heaven, they have a big advantage on you. And you only want to really come out if you assume that they're either blind or not looking. And that's hard to guarantee. So I think that is a good way to start out the majority of your rifle rounds. If you're on a default, is to try to work outside. I think the middle of the map is ramped because it separates upper from lower, and sometimes CTs will play there. But just like middle on other maps, you don't necessarily need to hold on to it. Outside is similar, but it's plays kind of a different role.
Oh, Nico's finding really fast timing to get out into the upper area there from main to go for that upper split. And it's going to work out here for at least Nico, getting a lot of positioning, but he didn't get the kill, unfortunately. Yuki's there. Oh, that's so stunning from Yuki. What else is he going to find? Snatch coming in just, oh man, with the drive-by 5-7, as you do. But it's what he left in 1v1. He's going to nail it. And Heroic will pick up the round. Wow, what a crazy chaotic round.
That was actually, yeah, tumultuous. They threw the outside smokes, they baited the utility, instead just pushed through them, and then from there they just left it to Yuki. Let's see. They don't actually have that much money left. I mean, Nico's still on a Gleal. So opportunity here for VP to reset him, make this game even longer. And it would be worth 3. I think they'd straight up tie.
It goes the other way too, you know, if Heroic win this, VP won't have any money really, so
that's true.
So they can sort of be very close to closing the game.
This is where the game ends, Dan.
Yeah, it's where the game is made or where the game is broken. But for who will it be made and who for will it be broken?
It's very dramatic.
Yeah. Snags is breaking faces. Gonna snap off Nico. Now it's Neo, brilliant position. Neo's just missed a lot of bullets there though. Definitely potential for a 2K, but he gets only 1. And now look at Heroic go. They've got a good bomb plant coming out of heaven for the post-plant setup. They are laughing at the moment, but they have to close. You got to be a closer. You closer, Wonders. Do you close?
Absolutely.
Nice.
Always be
ABC.
closing.
Always be closing, yeah. Gotta know your ABC. And Launders does. Be like Launders. Well, the CTs certainly are waiting for this coordination. Now they're going to start to move in. And that's Snappy dead, but in comes S and Tag. And he's done great work, as does Yugi. Just trying to bait Snags out now. Nothing. Snags gets the connection. Gets the leg on Snags. Snags gets to the 4K, but no time for the defuse. 14 to 10. And a very, a critical save of a weapon here. We just highlighted how broke VP are. And now that AWP could really make a difference.
He can also straight up drop or buy himself an M4. I don't know if that's what he'll do. His teammates can only afford probably UMPs.
Oh my god, that's, wow.
Yeah, that's not 1.60.
No.
Oh, you know how everyone says I miss the old Kanye?
Okay.
You remember remember that guy Timothy DeLaGhetto we saw at that salad place? He's a YouTuber. Some people know him.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah. He has a T-shirt that has a picture of an old guy with a beard that looks like Kanye.
Oh nice.
It says I miss and it's just like Grandpa Kanye. Isn't that cool?
Nice. I like it.
Very clever. But yeah, an expensive round both ways. But because and you know what? Because it was expensive, it makes the round a little bit easier on VP since they were clearly going to have forced to maybe still win. It seemed like Snacks got the important kill of that round though. He got the opening kill too. Stayed alive, got 3 more.
Yeah, he did a great job. He's a man's man. Ooh, this is a bold play from VP, but it's not working out too well. I guess what you could say it worked out enough. You know, a 3v3 is definitely a workable scenario here, and because it's a nuke, there's less inherent advantage to being a 3v3 as the T's than other maps. You don't get nearly as much advantage from the numbers.
Honestly, feels like it comes down to luck to some degree, whether or not you get the appropriate timing, because every CT is on patrol in a 3v3, so you know it feels like a 50-50 when you turn a corner if they're watching you or their other angle that they have to pick up.
Nice catch there from Snappy. We've seen that more than once now in this map. This is for the 15th round for Heroic. They look really good for it now. They've got, again, a similar setup to the previous rounds for the bomb plant. And it was an amazing setup. Playing off of Heaven and that plant behind the silos. Now, he is going to make his way forwards, but he's got so much to worry about. He's going to spot a gun. I don't think Tag spotted him now, so Neo now has to just go for it. Uses the flashbang there. We'll go around the other side. Smart stuff, but it's not going to work out here. It's a round for Heroic. And that's surely got to be the game. Well, not, can't call it just yet, but look at the money here. Everyone has $2,400 for VP. They're not going to have anything to work with.
UMPs for the whole squad. And another round in a row where Heroic take Heaven control and plant backside for Heaven. One of the best situations that you can be in. Getting to Heaven and getting into Heaven is the difficult part, and the hero of last round ends up unfortunately dying Heaven, that was nice. Definitely in Heroic's best interest to make this round play out.
Nice.
And yeah, a successful vent dive is going to be a nightmare for them.
And as you say, you can just stay there. You can just sit there forever. Don't have to even do anything. Snacks though making life interesting with that 5-7. And all of a sudden VP are doing a lot with very little. That's the bomb outside for VP. And the guns collected as well. Snacks will be happy with that. Now Heroic, it's all about damage control. If they are to lose this round, they cannot allow VP to save many guns. They have to get some kills. Snappy is the very... Oh, wow, that timing on the molly, that's insane. Amazing. Molly's going to go around the outside. Definitely still a possibility here for a win. But it's going to be really hard. VP have given up the position of the bomb, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, as you can see, Madi is still respecting the fact that they could easily watch the bomb, which works in VP's favor, considering the clock. So no opening kill, they're going to be forced to plant. It's hard to get that opening kill to plant the bomb. And the retake should be easy peasy.
Here it is, the charge. Pasha is waiting, man. He's just there with the Max 7, chilling. Relaxing all cool.
Playing b-ball out by the school.
Yes. Until a couple of guys who are up to no good.
Who are those guys?
So I'm making a couple in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got that, because I wasn't sure if you would. James would never get that. 100% he wouldn't get that.
Wait, what? He doesn't watch the Fresh Prince?
He never gets any of my references to TV shows and stuff, so I presume not.
Oh, wow. And he's got so many references, too.
He does, but none of them are really TV related. Another great start here for VP though, and damn. It's a very fast cleanup of this eco. Oh, nice shot from Snappy, but that's all it may really be. As I feel as though his time, he has an expiration date, and it's set for now. He's now past his expiration date. No one likes that. No one likes that.
Oh, well, I mean, is it best before? Because it might still take a bite.
There we go. 15 to 12.
Those are guidelines.
Yeah, that's very true. You gotta stick by the guidelines.
Yep.
And speaking of which, you know, when I say speaking of which, that like I had a I don't have a segue. I don't really have a segue. I segued into nothing there. I don't know what I'm doing. Either way, Heroic, they have only one more round to game, but it feels as though one of the 2 rounds that they won was sort of gifted by the nature of the fact that VP had no money. So, and even when VP had a terrible buy, they couldn't find a way to close the round. And now they're sort of doing what VP were doing, where it's like, hey, we haven't broken the glass really for the entire match. We're going to break it this time. Definitely not going upper. We promise, definitely not doing that.
Yeah, that's really funny. It's like, suddenly they're like, oh, we should have been breaking the glass the entire time, just in case this situation arose. But yeah, it's just as you call it. Smokes are going to come into the upper site. And they did try it. Yeah, they did try an upper execute earlier on, but
maybe they'll
they got
fake.
smacked.
It does make a lot of sense to do a fake. Yeah, they're going for a fake here. They're trying to pull rotation towards Heaven so they can get free, rapid free. The Taz is just still sitting there. Pash is ready as well. The fake has done absolutely nothing here for Heroic. And Pasha is just having at them.
I'm kind of surprised. Pasha made such a good rotation there. I'm not sure if they had an extra man upper to begin with, but he was at ramp quick.
He was, yeah.
So you wouldn't even be surprised if there was just one person at ramp, considering the smoke flash is still going out. But maybe Heroic just took too long to get to ramp, or because they were tossing smokes from the roof, they just couldn't get there fast enough.
Yeah, I think it's too telegraphed. I think that's really the problem, because even if you fake it, the problem is that they just, it's just very easy for VP to have a huge confidence in playing the rotations. I don't know. I don't think I didn't dig it.
Yeah, and sometimes I feel like teams try too hard to get away with something that they could do for far less utility.
Yeah. Well, they're just walking in one by one. Not too much really to do in this situation for Heroic.
Here's a map where you can understand why someone might have a silence M4.
Yeah.
A little bit better at distance.
Good point, actually. Silence M4 is pretty awesome on this map. Especially as a CT, there's a lot of spots where you can legitimately very much surprise the T with your location just because of how many levels there are to this map. Yeah, you can definitely get a lot of value out of it. That's an interesting thing with about the M4 A1S design.
Oh, he's going to switch out.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing that's not really taken into account when weapon balances are changed. Obviously, certain maps have an impact on how good those guns are as well, and it plays into their strengths and weaknesses. And this is a good example of, as you mentioned, one for the A1S. It's great on this. Need more good A1 maps. Patch is in such a great position here. Ooh, nicely done. Has to avoid the flames there, getting singed, but it's Heroic who will burn in the face of Pasha's AWP. Still at it there, still doing huge amounts of damage. Although it's a 2v2 here, Pasha, oh, he'll miss the shot. The jump is timed well there from S-Tag.
Yeah, I feel like it was kind of unlucky. Like, he could have hit that shot, but he just didn't. Completely different round. I mean, this is the last round of the game, potentially. 2v1 now.
Heroic looking like they can do this. But they've shown us wrong before.
Oh.
Okay, grab the bomb, get out of dodge. That is really awesome. Up the vents they'll go. And fireworks perhaps to celebrate the occasion. A bit of preemptive celebration perhaps with that Molotov. But it will indeed be a 16-14. Really a game of T sides or I guess CT sides.